What's going on, guys? Man, let me tell you something. Welcome to a Kiaun Vents episode. I don't even know what episode this is, but breaking news, people. Breaking news from Sony. I want to read this off to you guys. Now, this is from IGN. This isn't Reddit. This isn't Twitter. This is IG Mother Loving N that has this story. So listen to this. I know you saw the title. Yes, it's true. It happened. The event got canceled. Listen to this. It says, we have decided, now this is Sony right here. We have decided to postpone the PlayStation 5 event scheduled for June 4th. While we understand gamers worldwide are excited to see PlayStation 5 games, we do not feel that right now is a time for celebration. And for now, we want to stand back and allow more important voices to be heard. End of quote. Now, the thing is, right now, as it stands, Sony has not given another date for this doggone PlayStation 5 reveal. Now, I understand right now we are living in hard, trying times. We got COVID-19. We got other situations that are going on that are unjust. I fully understand that, but my question to you, the listener, right now is, are these situations a scapegoat for Sony? Now, we understand that Sony, before COVID-19 was even a thing, they already bowed out of E3 2020. It just worked out for them. I mean, hey, COVID-19 happened, events got canceled. Now, I want to remind you guys, Sony said last year that they were going to have hundreds of different events this year. All of a sudden, you mean to tell me, look, COVID-19, very, very serious and a very tragic thing. You mean to tell me that the situation that, look, listen, Sony and Microsoft, they are going through the same situation, COVID-19. But for some crazy, strange, unbelievable reason, Microsoft continues to give us information on a regular basis. And here you have Sony. The only thing they've done so far is shown off a doggone logo of the PlayStation 5 that looks like the PlayStation 4. Whoop-de-darn-do. And then they show off a PlayStation 5 controller. All right, you get one of these. You get the slow clap because that means nothing. And now you come out of your mouth and you say, look, June 4th, it's happening. This event is going to be super. They had doggone commercials on ESPN. Hyping this up, commercials on TV. We're not talking about on YouTube. We're not talking about on Amazon Prime or whatever. We are talking about on regular syndicated, syndicated, about to say radio. I'm all messed up. Doggone TV, international TV or national, whatever. I'm messed up right now, but y'all get what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden, you pull out of the doggone event. Man, something is very, very wrong over there at Sony. Look, listen, I get it. Terrible times are happening right now. I get it. But Sony, come on, man. Come on, man. You are supposed to be allegedly releasing your console this year, November. Here you had Jim Ryan coming out, oh, don't worry. The console is on track. It's on point. Don't you guys worry about anything. It's coming out. Man, something is wrong. I don't understand. I get it. I get what's going on. Trust me. But to me, it's starting to sound like Sony, you're just looking for excuses. And people can say, well, Kiaun, if that's the case, why would they put these commercials up? Why would they promote it themselves? Why would they put in all of this work just to say at the last moment, we got to bail out? I'm thinking, look, listen. They had to obviously put up some money for this. Maybe they didn't. I mean, hey, it could have been in a Sony studio. They put it online. No real money lost. I get it. I understand that 100%. But man, oh man, it just seems to me that something is amiss. Because you have Microsoft. They are not having any trouble. None whatsoever. Getting their message out there. And then we had the report from Bloomberg a couple of months ago that was saying that they were struggling with the price point. And we already went over that. Jim Ryan, he basically, matter of fact, let me read you the quote. I got the quote right here because I was so excited about this upcoming event. I was starting to write down stuff that I wanted to see. So before we move any further, let me read you that quote from doggone Jim Ryan, because he sat down. Hold on, I got it over here somewhere. Hold on, here we go. I'm getting it. But bear with me, brothers. Bear with me. God darn, I'm going to get it. Now, Jim Ryan, he had talked about this when he sat down with, games industry, where he said, and I quote, "It could be that historic templates, the historic models that have applied in the past may not apply in the future." Basically meaning, if you know anything about Sony, they undercut the competition. It started with the Saturn. The Saturn was $400 or $500, I forget, and the PlayStation 1 came in at $300. That has been something they have done throughout their gaming history. And here you have Jim Ryan talking about that these historic templates and the historic models, they might not apply right now. And then he even went as far as to say, I think the best way that we can address this is by providing the best possible value proposition that we can. Now listen to this. This is where it gets interesting. I don't necessarily mean lowest price. Value is a combination of many things. So here you have Jim Ryan talking about the price point, and you had Bloomberg talking about they're having a hard time getting the price down. And then on top of that, I'm all over the freaking place right now, but just ride the roller coaster with me. Ride with me. And then you have this event that's supposed to have happened on June 4th. You had Microsoft coming out next month. Now, I'm sure Sony knew that Microsoft was going to be out there next month. Who knows? Could this be just another situation where Sony is like, you know what? We're going to use this and we're going to bail out. We're going to let Microsoft go first again, see what they say, see what they do, see what the reception is to their show, and then we'll counterattack it, because this is what Sony does. Every single time, every E3 that has ever happened, you always see Microsoft go out there first. They take all of the arrows, they get shot to smithereens, and then Sony peeks their head out and says, all right, the coast is clear. We know not to go down that path. It happens every time, people. I'm just saying, I might be going a little too far left, and I don't care. I'm going to say what I say. But the thing is that could this just be another ploy from Sony to say, you know what, this is a good time to back out. Let Microsoft do it again, because we saw that when Microsoft went out there with their different shows, the way they showed off the new games that were coming to the Xbox Series X, we know that Sony got word that people were not happy with that show. We know that Sony heard people say they didn't show off real gameplay. You know, that was something they said they were going to do. They didn't do it. And we got a glimpse of it with The Last of Us Part 2. When Sony released that Last of Us Part 2 doggone footage, oh my gosh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. One of my top 3 most anticipated games this year, and it's probably number 2 on the list outside of Cyberpunk 2077. So once again, maybe Sony said, you know what, hey, this is a chance for us to just fall back. You know, this is a real good time just to say, look, we're not doing it right now. Other voices, more important voices, need to be heard. And I get that. And I definitely applaud Sony for that. That's cool. That's great that you would feel that way. But I'm holding your feet to the fire. You have dodged and jumped and hopped over event after event after event. And all of a sudden, hundreds of events, and you can't even eke out 5 for the year. Hundreds? I don't even think it's hundreds of conventions that happen in a year. You got E3, you got Comic-Con, you got doggone. I ain't going through the daggone list. Y'all know what it is. And you mean to tell me that the rollout, COVID-19, it just completely derailed all of your plans? I'm not buying it at all. I mean, good grief. Here it is. Microsoft, they have shown the console. They have shown the console already. You have Sony, they have only showed a controller. You have Microsoft, they've shown you what the loading times look like, what the frames look like. You have Microsoft out there talking about backwards compatibility. You got Mark Cerny talking about they're going to just take the top 100 games from backwards compatibility and make it accessible. And then we get word that now games, hold on, I got another quote for y'all, God dog, and I got another one here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, okay. Now, here it is. Now, they're basically, Sony is mandating that after they come out after July 13th, 2020, they need to be compatible with PlayStation 5, and games released before July 2020 are strongly recommended to be patched or remastered for PlayStation 5 compatibility. You have it right there. Microsoft, they are doing it the right way. Granted, they're going to have to get the other third parties to agree to use their I can't remember the name of the system that Microsoft uses to enhance the games automatically, but you have it right there. Sony, it doesn't look like they're doing that. Microsoft has beat them. My point being, I just brought that up to say that Microsoft is beating Sony to every punch. It's one thing Sony has. It's one thing they have, and they may possibly always have over Microsoft, and that is the games. That is why we were so hyped up to see what the heck you were going to show, Sony. And all of a sudden, you pull out and you don't even say when you're going to come back to the table. Now, for people that want to talk about these commercials and say, well, Kiaun, why? Why would they have promoted these commercials on TV? I wanted to get back to that. I talked about it before, and then I jumped off it. Now I'm getting back on it. Let's not forget that The Last of Us Part 2, back in January, they had said that game was coming out sometime in February, or it might have been December. Either way, the game was originally supposed to come out in February, and then just weeks later, I'm talking maybe a week or two later, they say, oh, no. It has to be delayed. We gotta, pump the brakes on that and delay it. That is the first time I think any of us have ever heard that from a publisher. That you talk about a game is going to be released and not even a month later you cancel it? And then it gets moved out to May. And then because of COVID-19, it gets moved out to June. And it's like, man, what the heck is going on? That is my only question. Does Sony have it together? Do they have their ducks in a row, their P's and Q's, their I's dotted and their T's crossed? Because this is insanity. I'm just trying to figure it out. Look, listen, I ain't going to hold you guys here much longer. I just said my piece, but I want to hear from you, the listener. Yes, you. Are you let down about Sony canceling this PlayStation 5 reveal event? You can call in. You can do it two different ways, actually, to answer this question. I would love to hear from you. You can call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard, goddaggit. Or you can email the show, and the email address is the analogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Man, I was your host, Kiaun, brother. God darn it. Man, I was so looking forward to Thursday, and all of a sudden, boom, it's up in smoke. I'm out of here, guys.